In the little town of Willowbrook, bedtime was the same every night. The streetlights flickered on, windows glowed softly, and one by one, every house grew quiet. The moon peeked out from behind the clouds, watching over the sleeping town. But not everyone was asleep. In a small, cozy room at the end of Maple Street, a curious child lay wide awake, staring at the ceiling. Something strange caught their eye. A soft, shimmering glow outside the window. The child tiptoed across the room, careful not to wake anyone, and peeked through the curtains. There, across the empty street, the playground sparkled. The swings glowed in rainbow colors, the slide shimmered with golden light, and the merry-go-round twinkled like a star. The child's eyes widened. "That's not how the playground looks in the daytime," they whispered to themselves, and in that moment they knew. Something magical was happening tonight. The child slipped on their slippers, crept down the stairs, and tiptoed out the door. The night was quiet, except for the sound of crickets and the soft rustle of the trees. At the end of the street, the playground shimmered brighter with every step. The swings moved gently back and forth, but no one was sitting on them. As the child stepped closer, they saw colors dancing on the seats. Reds, blues, and greens, swirling like paint in the air. When the child reached out a hand, the swing sparkled, as if it had been waiting all along. "Wow," the child whispered. The swing squeaked happily and swayed, almost inviting the child to sit down. The air tingled with magic, and the playground didn't feel empty anymore. It felt alive. The child's heart raced with excitement. If the swings were alive, what about the other playground toys? The child's eyes landed on the big red slide at the center of the playground. It shimmered faintly, almost as if it were smiling. The child climbed the ladder, sat at the top, and took a deep breath. "Here goes nothing," they whispered, before sliding down. Whee! But halfway down, a voice boomed cheerfully. "Hold on tight. I'm the guardian of midnight games." The child landed with a soft thump in the sand, blinking in surprise. Did the slide just talk to me?" they asked. The slide chuckled. "Of course I did. Every playground has its secrets, and tonight you've unlocked ours. But be careful. Our magic only lasts until sunrise." The child gasped. A whole playground full of secrets, and only one night to discover them. The child could hardly believe what had just happened. A talking slide, a glowing swing. What could be next? That's when the merry-go-round at the far side of the playground began to sparkle. Its painted horses shone like gold, and its wooden platform hummed with energy. The child ran closer, and the merry-go-round began to spin, slowly at first, then faster and faster. "Hop on," it called out in a sing-song voice. The child grabbed a golden handle and climbed aboard. With a whirl of lights and music, the merry-go-round spun so fast that the playground below became a blur. Then, with a whoosh, it lifted off the ground. The child laughed with joy as the ride floated higher and higher, carrying them above the rooftops of Willowbrook. The whole town twinkled below like a sea of stars, and the moon smiled down as if it had been waiting for this moment. The merry-go-round sparkled proudly. Hold on tight, traveler of the night. Adventure awaits in the sky. The merry-go-round soared gently across the night sky. The child held on tight, their eyes wide with wonder. Then something amazing happened. From the sandbox below, sparkles of light rose into the air, drifting up like fireflies. The sparkles gathered and formed shapes. First, a wise old turtle appeared, floating on a cloud of sand. Slow and steady, the turtle said kindly, adjusting its tiny glasses. Next came a squirrel with a bushy tail, chattering excitedly. Adventure, adventure! Let's go, it squeaked. And finally, a brave little bird soared up, its feathers glowing silver. I'll guide you, it chirped proudly, circling the merry-go-round. The child's smile grew wide. You're real? You can talk? The turtle chuckled. Of course we can. The midnight playground chooses friends who are brave enough to discover it. The child looked around at the magical animals, heart beating fast. This was no ordinary night. This was the adventure of a lifetime. The merry-go-round drifted gently back to the playground, landing softly in the sand. The child hopped off, their new animal friends right behind them. Suddenly, the brave little bird fluttered toward the jungle gym. Look there, it chirped. The child squinted. Something glowed faintly behind the bars. They pushed aside the swings and crawling tunnels, and there it was, a glowing, heart-shaped door, hidden where no one had ever looked. Its outline shimmered like a rainbow. The secret door, gasped the squirrel. It only opens for those who believe in magic. The child reached out, hand trembling with excitement, and touched the glowing handle. Click. The door swung open with a gentle hum, and on the other side was a world unlike anything they'd ever seen. Candy canes grew like tall trees, lollipops bloomed like flowers, and rivers of sparkling soda bubbled in the distance. The child's eyes lit up. A candy land, they shouted with delight. The turtle nodded wisely. Yes, but remember, magic doesn't last forever. Use this time well. The child took a step forward, heart racing. The adventure had just gotten even sweeter. The candy land shimmered with colors so bright, it felt like a dream. The squirrel dashed from one lollipop to another, nibbling happily. The birds swooped down to sip from the soda river, giggling with each fizzy bubble. Even the wise turtle cracked a smile as candy sprinkles rained softly from the sky. The child twirled in delight. This is the most magical night ever. But then, dong. A deep chime echoed through the playground, so loud the candy trees trembled. The child froze. What was that? The animals turned to the towering playground clock, standing tall above the swings. Its hands glowed bright gold, and with every strike, the ground seemed to shake. Dong. The turtle's voice was low and serious. That's the clock tower. It warns us that magic is running out. The bird flapped nervously. When the last chime fades, the midnight playground will disappear until the next full moon. The squirrel gasped, dropping its lollipop. But that means we don't have much time left. The child's smile faded, replaced with determination. Then we'd better hurry. There are still secrets left to discover. The clock chimed again. Dong. The race against time had begun. Dong, dong. The clock tower kept chiming, its golden hands moving closer to midnight. The child looked at their animal friends with worry. We have to get back before the magic disappears. The turtle nodded firmly. Yes, but quickly now. The merry-go-round swooped low, glowing brighter than ever. Hop on, everyone, it sang. The child and animals leapt aboard. With a whirl of lights, it carried them racing back across the night sky, rooftops flashing beneath them. Dong. Only one chime left. The child's heart pounded as the merry-go-round landed softly in the playground. They dashed across the sand, slipped through the glowing door of the jungle gym and ran toward home. As the last chime echoed through Willowbrook. Dong! The glow faded. The swing stopped moving. The Candyland vanished. And the playground fell silent once more. The child climbed back into bed, just as the sun's first light touched the window. Breathless and smiling, they whispered, "What a night!" And when they pulled off their slippers, a few sparkles of candy-colored sand tumbled out. The child giggled. So it was real after all. Outside, the playground stood quiet and ordinary. But somewhere in the air, if you listened closely, you could almost hear the faintest laugh of a squirrel and the echo of a talking slide. The midnight playground would return again, under the next full moon.